Lacey. Newton's first law. Newton's first law states that an object at rest stays in rest, and an object in motion stays in motion unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Here we have an apple. The apple is at rest. The apple is onto the table, creating a downward force onto the table, while the table is creating an upward force onto the apple. This creates a balanced force until I push the apple. I am the unbalanced force that makes the apple move.
Newton's first law again. The second part to Newton's first law is about motion. Objects in motion tend to stay in motion unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. Here, Madison has an apple again. She's gonna throw it at me. Notice how the apple stayed in motion until I caught it. I was the unbalanced force that stopped its motion.
Newton's second law. Newton's second law states that an unbalanced force acting upon an object will accelerate the object in the direction of that force. F, force, equals m, mass, times a, acceleration. The greater the mass, the more force required to accelerate the object. Here we have the chair with less mass. The chair moves in the direction that Lacey pushes, towards the right. The empty chair takes less force to move since it has less mass. Here we have the chair with more mass. Maddie and the chair move in the direction Lacey pushes, towards the right. When Maddie sits in the chair, she adds more mass, taking more force to move her.
This is the chair with less mass. See how it moved in the direction that I pushed it? This is the chair with more mass, since Maddie is sitting in it. I'm going to push her and the chair to the right. Notice how it took more force to push Maddie in the chair instead of just the chair alone. They also moved to the right when I pushed them to the right.
Newton's third law. The definition is, for every action, there is an equal and opposite reaction. For example, we have Lacey. Lacey drops the bouncy ball. The bouncy ball applies a downward force to the ground, while the ground applies an equal and opposite force to the bouncy ball, causing the bouncy ball to come back up.
I'm going to drop the bouncy ball onto the ground. The action is the bouncy ball applying a force onto the ground. The reaction is the ground applying a force back onto the bouncy ball that is equal and opposite, causing the bouncy ball to bounce back up.
Thanks for watching!
Explain Newton's laws with Lacey and Madison. What am I even saying?